Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. I wish to everyone who's watching this right now, especially my beloved classmate and also Dr. Nadia. So for today, my friends Pura bin Raj and I, Muhammad Izham bin Ismail, are going to explain about how animals reproduce. So for today, our presentation is mainly divided into three parts, which is the first part, sexually, the introduction part, which will be explained by me, and the second part, which is actually the type of animal reproduction, which will be also explained by me, and the third part, which is the last part, will be explained by Pravin Raj. So let us begin. So moving on to the first part of the presentation. In general, all living things must reproduce in order for them to survive in this world. Without reproduction, they will face extinction. So in general, there is two types of animal reproduction. The first one is sexual reproduction and the second one is extinction. Although majority of animals capable of sexual reproduction, there is actually some species, such as Hydra, are capable of doing both type of reproduction. As you can see, there are two types of animal reproduction, which is the first one is asexual reproduction and the second one is sexual reproduction. Okay, for asexual reproduction, it is a reproduction that doesn't involve the meiosis process and also doesn't involve the change of chromosome number and also the fusion of gametes. In asexual reproduction, a single parent gives rise to an identical offsprings. Okay, there are few advantages of asexual reproduction, which is one, it allows rapid reproduction and also colonize desired area. I can give you an example. For example, I would like to give a fungi, Rhizophus stolonifer, or black bread mold, which can colonize a bread in a very fast rate. Other than that, asexual reproduction also occur in several types of invertebrates such as sponge, cnidarians, flatworms, annelids, and also echinoderms. So let us move on to sexual reproduction. Okay, for sexual reproduction, it is a type of reproduction that involves meiosis in order to form gametes that occur in gonads. Gonads is actually the sex reproductive organs. For male, we have testes, and for female, we have ovaries. Each gametes unite to form a unique offspring. The for the fertilization of gametes usually happen during copulation. Copulation is sexual union to facilitate the reception of sperm. I'm sorry, this one. So as you guys can see above me, there is two example. I'm sorry, two example of animal copulation, which is this one is the turtle copulation and this one is the lion copulation. Other than that, sexual reproduction also animal which are dioecious or having a separate sex at different body. For example, this lion, and also monoecious or hermaphrodites, which are hermaphrodite. For example, snail, echinoderm, fish, and also worms. So now I will show you how Hydra reproduce. Okay, Hydra can reproduce on two ways, which is the first one is and the second one in asexually. Okay, for asexual reproduction of Hydra, usually a tiny bump appear on a parent Hydra and it grows and develop. When the time comes, it will break off and become an independent Hydra. Okay, for the sexual reproduction of Hydra, it's actually develop gonads on its body wall. As like you guys can see here, there's ovary and testes. Okay, furthermore, I would like to show you guys how sexual reproduction occur for flatworm. So in this picture, you guys can see, right? There is flatworm, and then the process continues with regeneration. Hence, producing two identical offspring. So that's how reproduction. So that's how asexual reproduction occur. So I've talked about the types of reproduction. So now I would like to pass the stage to Pravin Raj.
Hi, and a very good day. So today I'm going to talk about the life history strategies of animals. So normally animals are characterized with three distinct categories, that are oviparous, ovoviviparous, and of course the viviparous. So what does this oviparous, ovoviviparous, and viviparous supposed to mean? Let me explain each one of them into details. So oviparous are animals that deposit their eggs in the external environment. And basically these kinds of animals, they have a larval stage. And of course, this larval stage, they have a different feeding mechanism as compared to the parent. So this in advance restricts or prevents the competition for food between the parents and the offspring as well. For example, the butterflies, an example like that. Next is actually the ovoviviparous animals. Ovoviviparous animals are quite complicated. These animals are the ones that retain the eggs in certain ways and release their youngs at a stage where the young is able to fend for themselves. So during this process, the young receive nourishment from the yolk. And of course, some of them even receive nourishment from milk, for example, the marsupials. And the eggs also, they have extra embryonic membrane to avoid drying. For example, some invertebrates, reptiles, fish, and amphibians are the kinds of animals that are characterized into ovoviviparous. So let me scope down into birds. Birds, for example, they lay thick-shelled eggs. And of course, in these eggs, there are extra embryonic membranes. So one layer of this membrane contains the yolk, which serves as a nourishment for the developing embryo. And even this thick-shelled egg even functions to serve the needs of the developing embryo and also to prevent the embryo from drying out. And even like for example, the oysters even they lay their eggs in a mantle cavity, which is also a kind of way that the oysters retain their eggs. And even for example, like the male seahorses, they retain their developing embryo in a brood pouch. And there are many animals which actually exert this kinds of ovoviviparity. Next, let me scope down into viviparous. So viviparous animals are the most complicated animal ever. So viviparous animals, examples of them are the placental mammals, like humans as well. So the development occurs inside the female's body in a period of time until the offspring can live independently. When the offspring have successfully developed all the required systems, for example, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, everything to the core, that's when the offspring is released out in order for them to live independently without the help of the mother's system. The placenta also allows the change of material for nourishment for the embryo itself. And of course, the placenta is made up of a chorion, which is another reptilian extra-embryonic membrane as well. So the next slide. So this is actually examples of oviparous animals. For example, butterflies, I told you just now, frogs, and crayfish as well. So this is actually the example of ovoviviparous animals. For example, the crocodiles, which lay the thick-shelled eggs, the male seahorses, which, as I told you before, keeps their developing embryo in the brood pouch, and the eagles, which is a kind of bird that lays thick-shelled eggs as well. And this is actually a viviparous animal, which contains the placenta, males, horses, and elephants. So all these animals actually contain the placenta in order for them to enable the embryo to survive until all the required structures develop in order for the embryo to live independently. And that's it from me. Thank you.